Hi, folks. This is Mountainman coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing all right tonight and ready for the new year. I've got in my thumbnail Dan Scavino. He put the words up, buckle up. He put some other words up that Don Jr. used to say a long time ago, and many of our other creators that got used in what we'll call the movement. Let's go. Anyway, I found that to be very interesting, and we're going to talk about it. So, I have a little bit of a delay. We'll see how many people get in the studio tonight. I'm sorry I came up late, but I got to try to beef up my audio on some of these clips and get all pictures cropped and everything. But I'm going to put up some stuff that I also put up on Truth, and then the other word is social. And things are going to get exciting this year. We know that. How many days away are we from this first caucus, this bellwether that is going to, for this election, is hopefully going to hit like a thunderclap. And Iowa, as my old buddy used to say, Iowa. So anyway, let's see what we got going on. Donna's in, Sherry's in. Hi, everybody. Redhausen. Nice to see you, Diane. Wild West, Miss Bendersue. Robin, nice to see you. Leisha. Jersey Joe. Hi, Nikki. Good. Everybody's rolling in. Hi, Mary Ellen. So let me get something else on the screen. We got a lot of. We're going to talk about this. This individual in Maine, but the Dems are just jumping up and down. I had a person on Truth and then Social I was telling you all about named Ruth, and I took a close look at that profile picture. I said it was more like Babe Ruth. It was an obvious transmission. So, you use the abbreviation for that. And I said, gave him back a comment, responded to the comment, and they posted over and over. I get notice somebody mentioned you. I'd check to see what the same article about Colorado. I mean, half a dozen times. I was going to block this person. So they get so excited over this stuff, like what they're hearing from Maine. But they didn't hear this one right here from Breitbart. Democrat-controlled California keeps Donald Trump on the 2024 ballot. And I put that on True Social. I said, that's the big kahuna. The big kahuna. That's not going to be taken. California kept former President Donald Trump on the 2024 ballot on Thursday. So my question was, who got to that Secretary of State in Maine? We'll talk about that in a minute. But California's decision defies California Lieutenant Governor Eleni Alaska, whatever, request to explore every legal option to remove Trump following the Colorado Supreme Court ruling. California Democrat Secretary of State Dr. Shirley N. Weber published the list of eligible candidates Thursday, and Trump was on there, of course. The decision came just after Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows decided Trump was ineligible for the state's ballot. That's how it works. We have some secretaries of state nobody ever heard of decides who's on the ballot. I didn't know that's how it worked. But anyway, Weber previously opposed Colorado's ruling on December 22nd, saying it is more critical than ever to safeguard elections in a way that transcends political divisions. Well, that is good. It is more critical now because not only are they doing the Adolf talk, Adolf for Donald Trump, they're also beating the drum of what? Civil what? War. Okay, we'll see about all that. So anyway, let's see. Hi, Melinda. Yeah, they mirror, single songwriter. They always accuse people of what they're doing. Hi, Alan. Nick's Creations, how you doing? So they always accuse somebody else of what they are doing. Ha ha ha. Old enough to remember when Maine was a safe haven for deadbeat dads back in the day. There's no safe havens for deadbeat dads now, I'll tell you that. But, well, who knows what they call themselves anymore. But here's the stuff you've probably been seeing. They didn't bring up the California thing. I don't know. Maybe some of you all heard about the California decision. But, they're jumping up and down about this business here. Here you go. Andy No put this out. Immensely at the hands of Democrats. And there you see her. She's with Joe Biden. And they probably had to wait for Joe to get his nose out of her hair before they could take a picture. But anyway, Portland, Maine. Maine's Democrat Secretary of State on Thursday removed former President Donald Trump from the state primary ballot under the Constitution's insurrection clause, becoming the first election official to take action unilaterally as the U.S. Supreme Court is poised to decide whether Trump remains eligible. So the decision has been stayed. I'm surprised they didn't use that word pause until the U.S. Supreme Court decides whether Trump is barred by the Civil War era provision, which prohibits those who engage in insurrection from holding office. But as we know, the mouth breathers don't know or don't want to know that you just can't point a finger at somebody and say, insurrectionist. You have to have some proof. Here, we're dealing with that certain disease, right here you go. I put this on True Social. I said, this is AI generated thumbnails. I had a recycled thumbnail because I just running out of time. But I wanted to get up sometime tonight. This is not an AI. Okay. This picture of Nancy's been around for a while, and it is a freeze frame when she was describing something. It may have been when she was wearing those orange bullet bracelet. I'm not sure. So, Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Hi, Doc. Nice to see you. Ken, how you doing? Yeah, Diane, you live in California. You heard about it. But none of the news is talking about it. None of the news. So here's a couple of things I put up. J6, the Federal Bureau of Insurrections. That's the kind I throw back at the blue hairs and the. I got in trouble. They, I don't know if I should put this one. This is the first one I've ever had on True Social. They took down my meme. I'll put it up here. And it wasn't that bad. It was about Mike Shell. Here. They covered it up and they said, it's being under review. I said, oh, review for what? Hello, Mr. Kibler. How you doing? Clay, how you doing? So I said, I'll let them review it. Everybody's talking about this. And they ended up taking it down. So I can't leave it up here too long. I'm sure of that. And I also put this on True Social that you can spot a communist or a Marxist, a mentally ILL person. Whoever spends $39.95 on this Christmas cutoff time, December 4th, there you go. A Jack Smith hoodie, sweatshirt, whatever you want, $39.95. Boy, that's all you need to see, isn't it? Somebody running around with something, wearing something like that. But anyway, here we go. Devin Nunes retweeted this, and he did a special on one program that he went on where the title was The Walls Are Closing In on the Biden family. And you know how many times we've gone over that. I played that video where everybody on the news stations was saying, Donald Trump, the walls are closing in, the walls are closing in, the walls are closing in. So he's flipping that pancake on Biden. But anyway, when I would get some message from somebody on Truth that's with the crazy camp, I'd send them something like this. You know, Democrats are destroying America. Why is the left so afraid to have Trump on the ballot? They're destroying democracy, he said. So, they have their little fits, but one of them put up there, this is what finally stopped. Over and over, Ruth, here you go. This is a Ruth. Am I being too judgmental, or is that a Babe Ruth? You know, he was a great athlete, as an H-E, he. So I didn't get a screenshot of. Maybe I'll have to see. I said another truth where I said, you ain't fooling nobody, Ruth. And anyway, whoa, what'd I do with my meme dropped off? Oh my gosh, I shrunk it down. I shrunk it down too far. Let's see how you can fix that. If I end up, what did I do? SpaghettiOs. Well, it's probably for the best. I'll have to try to delete this and re-enter it because I knocked it off there. Did I go out for a little bit, guys? Anyway, I got to go back in the studio and get that because I want to show what I told them. And if y'all want to get a screenshot off my Truth Social page, here we go. Let me put it back in there. Ruthie. Here we go. I don't know if I blinked out for a little bit, guys, or if my... Anyway, I finally replied. I said, Lincoln just cleaned out judgeships, state houses, closed over 200 newspapers, jailed the editors, and carried out public X3 executions on the Capitol grounds. No biggie. When they did this to Lincoln in 1860, 10 Democrat states kept Lincoln off the ballot. Sound familiar? So I sent them that, and they stopped bombarding me with the news about Colorado like little children. They were so excited. So anyway, let me see what's going on in the chats. Ralphie, yeah. That's Ralph. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? Oh, good. I got a 5x5 from Nikki. I did something I've never done before. I took something out of my studio and then put it back in. So anyway, here's a video clip. I got a couple of video clips. Listen to how she says how careful she was. No, this isn't the careful one. This is where she's saying, No one has ever committed insurrection before. That's why I did it. But they acknowledge everything. Colorado, this stunt they're pulling here, the one they're going to appeal in West Virginia, all of them, they're acknowledging that it has to be decided upon by the Supreme Court. I think there's going to be a showdown of some sort. But anyway, I'll get into that in a little bit. Let me play her bibble babble.
Again, I am so mindful, and I said this in my decision, that it is unprecedented. No Secretary of State has ever deprived a presidential candidate of ballot access based on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. But no presidential candidate has ever engaged in insurrection and been disqualified under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
Well, you ought to read the rest of the Constitution about people are supposed to have due process, and you don't just jump on somebody and deprive them of their rights under the color of law. Anyway, that's going to come back and bite them. I'm going to put this up. It's from Dan Scavino. And this is one of the two posts he put up that's, well, let me put this one up first before I let me find it. Where he says, I'll go ahead and put this one up. Whoops. That's the wrong one. Wait a second. Where did it go? Here we are. There we go. Here we go. It's a tiger. Somebody is going to pluck them in their watchamajiggers, and here we go. What's going to happen if you do that to a tiger? Now, this is from Dan Scavino, and I've said to keep your eye on Dan Scavino. And for those of you who've been with me for a long time, know that I focused on something many times in my past broadcasts, especially on my older channel. Now, this Scavino put up as a flashback. And take a look at it. It'll play twice. Most of you know it's only 10 seconds or so. What do you think he is sitting in? Okay. What do you think he's filming? And most of you know the song that's going to be in the background. When was this, and where was Dan Scavino? That's the big questions. I know what this was about, and I know when it was, and I have a good idea where Scavino is sitting. And you all know that song, Nessun Dorma. All right? That is what Trump played when he was nominated for the second time when he was running for 2020. And I will win, I will win. And I played the video where the first family is watching. And this blast from the past. Ha ha, Lone Wolf got it. And a single songwriter said helicopter. Yep, he's in Marine One, I believe. And that is being seconded and thirded by a single songwriter, Lone Wolf in the chats. And it is, I think they're doing a sound check, getting ready for the convention that they had to hold at the White House because of COVID. But anyway, I just noticed something. Is the flag at half-staff? Folks, do you see that on top of the White House? Do you see what I see? Is the flag at half-staff? Let me play that again and see if the flag moves. I don't know if it's at half-staff or what that is. Looks like it to me. Do any of you all remember there being an occasion for the flag being half-staff around that time? I just noticed that. I mean, it's not like I'm, planning to do this, but anyway. So that is throwing us back to when we all were very sorely disappointed. And this is the other thing he put up today. The tiger, the flashback, and then this. They know he's going to win. As 2024 approaches, it's time to buckle up. And most of us in the chats are very familiar with the meaning of that word, those words, buckle up. Let's go, Iowa. Caucus for Trump. You will be the first to deliver a strong message heard all around the world. I was focusing on the first part. Now I'm a little bit scared because what did we say that was going to be heard all around the world? I hope it isn't a SHOT. Bush Sr. died. Diane says. Well, I hope that it's metaphorical that the vote will be so strong it will be a shot heard around the world. Not that something terrible might happen. I don't know. I just, like I said, be ready for anything. Expect the unexpected. I see, Garrett. Mid-2022. $12/31/23. Well, yeah, we got that Times Square. We got to. That's sitting there just ripe for the picking. I already put that up, Sissy. Already put that meme up. You gotta rewind. Hi, Richard. How you doing? Richard and Richard. Richard said we're going to have trouble in all 50 states. I don't doubt it. Well, some states, they're just not going to have the gumption to do anything about it. They're not going to have the nerve. I'll put it that way. What was the video? I want to play a video of, let's see. Here we go. Let's see how the sound is on this one. I had another video. I didn't have time to upload it and edit it where she discusses that the ACLU and another group helped her come to the decision. So since the left is always hopped up on conspiracies, it sounds like a conspiracy to me. But anyway, listen to her say we. When we decided, then she'll correct herself and say I.
Very detailed decision. We lay out why under Maine law, the Secretary of State has the authority, indeed the obligation, I'm duty bound. So I rather laid out that the record demonstrates that, in fact, the events of January 6, 2021, which were unprecedented and tragic, were an insurrection. in the meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And
yeah, unprecedented. Well, it's unprecedented for some ditz nobody ever heard of. Wait a second. Here's this guy from, they've already filed. I'm not sure if this is the one or not. Let me see if it's this video where they filed to impeach her in the state house in Maine. So this guy, I believe this is the clip, he's going to let everybody know. Now, I didn't know this. She is not elected. A lot of secretaries of state are elected. They don't elect their attorney general in Maine. They don't elect their secretary of state. They're all political appointments. I didn't know that till I heard this guy, but let's let him tell you what he's doing.
Let's bring in Maine GOP State Representative John Andrews, who filed a motion to impeach the Maine Secretary of State. He joins us now. John, good morning to you. I don't think before this many people outside of the state of Maine knew who Sheena Bellows was. So let's start by you telling us about who she is and your effort to impeach her.
Well, in Maine, the people do not elect the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, or the Treasurer. They are chosen by party insiders in the legislature. So it makes the position inherently political, and Sheena Bellows should know that. She should be going out of her way. Sheena Bellows has unilaterally disenfranchised 300,060 Maine voters with this partisan move. Our nation is a republic. Maine is made up of citizens and not subjects in the Duchy of Sheena Bellows.
Hey, Thomas, if you're still out there, buddy, don't come in with a bunch of foolishness. I'll talk to you. I'll kick some stuff back and forth about Trump, Biden, whatever you want. Just, don't act like you're 12 years old. It's your first time here. You're welcome here. And if you want to ask me a question, I will answer it. If you listen to me and don't fill up the chats while I'm talking, instead of listening to me, please don't be typing a bunch of stuff. So feel free to ask me anything you want. Thomas, you're welcome to be here. And I appreciate you not using any foul language, or at least nothing I've seen so far. So, Marla, how you doing? A flipped over American flag. An upside down flag, Garrett. That means a nation in distress. That's the international signal for a ship in distress. If your boat is sinking, or you're in distress. An upside down flag. Haha, Secretary of State, SOS. January 6th committee. Well, I don't know if Thomas is still out there or not, but we can discuss that stuff. Hi, Gary. Be careful driving home, buddy. Be careful. Well, DeCat, yeah, it's the principle, though. It's the principle, and it is a state with few people in it, and I think it is a way to root out people that are either don't understand the Constitution, have no business in the job they're in, or they're willfully violating the Constitution. Starfire, how are you doing? I'm looking to see if Thomas comes in with anything we can chat about. I don't know. So anyway, here's something I put up for Mandy. No, you can't read it very good, but I'll put that up in a second. That is another innocent person. Ha 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 ha. I see you, Richard. Robin, you've been putting them on Right side up or upside down? Clay says she knows what she's doing. Let's see. Oh, yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's a real insurrectionist. People who are knowingly, that's another thing I put on True Social, knowingly violating the Constitution, that's criminal. That is deprivation of rights under the color of law. When somebody uses their office and knowingly violates the Constitution to deprive people of their rights, that's a very serious offense. You can pull that up. Thomas was just doing a drive-by. Oh, okay. Well, too bad. He could have had fun. Right here. Here's one you might want to put in your quiver. I won't use someone's pronouns for the same reason I won't talk to a schizophrenic's imaginary friends. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, Miss Minder Sue, that's right. Knowingly. Thomas has his doubts. Well, we don't want to make fun of old Thomas. Come on back in here, Thomas. We're kicking around a little bit. Here's something we can discuss. Social issues right here. Thomas Sowell. You know, there's a lot of young people of color who have never heard of Thomas Sowell. He's in his, I guess he's close to 90 now. He's in his 80s, I know. But he's starting to, young people are doing videos about his past lectures and are really impressed, But here's something Thomas Sowell put out. No society ever thrived because it had a large and growing class of parasites living off those who produce. So, yeah. Who can argue with that? I was going to check. I might as well tell you all this. I was saying to myself, they are on Utizzle, they keep running this ad over and over again. Get home internet from T-Mobile, just $50 from T-Mobile. I said, well, maybe I could do some kind of deal where I've got a extra internet and another device, and it'll be in, set up in the house and all this kind of stuff. Let me check it out. So I pulled it up on the internet, and I swear to you, About Us. I hit the About Us button on T-Mobile. And here you can see it with your own eyes, folks. See, About, up there in the upper right-hand corner, clicked on About. Wireless provider offering cell phones, data plans, internet devices, and accessories. Highlights. The first thing. I didn't click any other page. This is what showed up when I hit About up there and right there. About. This is what showed up. This is their number one highlight. LGBTQ plus. They should put a P there. Say it's for plus, but it's really not plus. Okay, it's for P3 and then the DO. All right, that's what that's all about. There's been gay people since time immemorial. How you doing, Tennessee? And but they add all that other stuff. They don't want to be mixed in with that. They're doing their own thing, and they're not jumping up and down to adopt kids and pressure kids into doing things. You just try to suck them into it. So anyway, that did it for me right there. I don't care if they were giving this away, because a lot of us watch And We Know. Couldn't believe it. He did a little snippet there where T-Mobile is putting in their contract that if you say anything disparaging, you can be fined, okay? Or you can lose some of your discounts. In other words, they can charge you more money if you say something they consider to be insensitive. Are you kidding me? T-Mobile is trash in my book. You're out of here. I wouldn't take it for free. But since I'm talking about that subject, you know, you can't read this. Andy No had it 20. I read it out loud, but I recorded it and I moved the pictures. Okay. But what he did was S period, A period. Okay. On young people. All right. I'll read it to you, but you'll see pictures of this lady, air quotes lady. And here's a report from Andy No, a 27-year-old trans P-O file, whatever, drove 70 miles across state lines in Indiana to meet who she thought was a young child. Instead, a camera crew with, quote, predator catchers was there to meet, quote, her, along with the police. And you can go to locals, NGO locals. She is named Randolph, apparently. There we go, getting the silver bracelets. Randolph. Name Clara. Is that no Clark? Aaron B. Clark. I thought Randolph was the name. I don't know. On the 4th of November. Ooh, you see the charges there. I can't read them out loud on this platform, but there you go. Yeah, I can't read what the charges were, but NGO at locals. Plus, you can find them on Utizzle. Just look them up, and you'll see the same report. But you know, this is I've said it before. It's my opinion. It is a mental illness and a dangerous mental illness. So I see single songwriter said Mint Mobile. Well, I wanted the kind that you have in your house. You know, you got a tower in your house, and that's what they were talking about, home internet. The balding pattern, yeah, kind of like Lucy. That's a man, baby. Yes, that's right. Sprint took over T-Mobile. Well, Sprint was never anything worth a hoot anyway. Yeah, P would be for that or P3DOs. Oh, well, Thomas the Train. He took off. I think I can. He split. He made like my pants and split. But anyway. So we got the buckle up message from Scavino, and we got this impeachment papers have been filed. Here's a humorous thing I got. Now, this is parody. Maybe not. I don't know. They do such a good job on it. But here you go. Kathy Hochul's talking about reparations. You know, since Vivek pointed out the replacement theory, all right, is not a theory about illegal immigrants are going to be replacing certain segments of our society. They've come up with the reparations drumbeat, right? But anyway, here you go. Kathy Hochul talking about reparations.
We cannot, as New Yorkers, ignore the disturbing history that there was a flourishing slave trade, not just in the South that everyone knew about, but right on Wall Street. And those slaves literally built the foundation of our economy in the state of New York. And generations later, their families are not benefiting in any sense compared to whites when it comes to home ownership when it comes to health outcomes. I mean, my God,
Look,
the rates of...
I'm amazed that only in America y'all want to get money from the whites to give them to the blacks for something that is around the world at the time. So here's what I think. Instead of this obvious race hustling, maybe take care of the all-time high crime in New York City and then clean up the streets from the feces and be actually...
All right, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us, New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
Ha 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 ha. So, yeah, it's funny when you do that stuff. Catch up if you ever want to watch that. Yeah, buying voter blocks. Camperman, how you doing? And I see, where did I see? Somebody said their inner peace. The cat said, sickening your inner peace. We know how you feel. But here's a good meme to have right here. There we go. And this actually got reviewed too, but I didn't have a chance to see on Truth and then Social. They fogged this over and said, this meme I got on the screen, how I wake up knowing the enemies of Christ run the world. And at the bottom it says, how I go back to sleep because I know in the end he will win. And you see over there on the right, he says, yes. And I'm wondering that's a second meme I put up that Truth Social was reviewing. I was like, what? So I'll have to check. See, I doubt they took this one down, but they took the one down about Mike Shell. Now, keep in mind, folks, we were talking about a Black Swan event, right? We've got all this stuff going on around the world. Well, here we have a big bomb campaign happened in Ukraine. The Telegraph put out, Putin must be stopped, says Biden, after record Russian airstrikes. I was just talking the other night, sometime last week, how quiet things were, relatively speaking, as the war was in a what I air quotes pause. Well, wasn't it a pause last night? They bombed the B-jabbers in Ukraine, and Joe Biden called on Congress to take action so weapons and vital air defense systems can be sent to Ukraine in response for a record number of Russian airstrikes. What's that all about? What got them going? I'll tell you what got them going. You had the United Nations sent British ballistic missiles that Ukraine used to attack ships on the Black Sea. And apparently they damaged more than one vessel and really made the bear mad, kind of like doing the same thing with the tiger there. And they targets were hit at 9 p.m. Moscow time. Lviv is a NATO mercenary base. This is what got hit last night. Lviv is a mercenary base, energy and warehouses. Nitsky, airfield, airplanes, warehouses. Kyiv, factories, energy infrastructure. Kharkov, airfield, warehouses, energy infrastructure. Odessa, terminals. Ukraine has control over. Nikolaev, airport, fuel terminals, control headquarters. I mean, it was massive. I don't know how many bombs they sent over there, but it was stunning. Kherson, air defense, missile system sites, warehouses, equipment, personnel, and Pantone equipment. I don't know what that is. Dnipropetrovsk, I can't pronounce it. An airfield, Canatop, enemy air defense, equipment warehouses, energy, Zaporozhye enemy air defense systems, terminals, air defense, and air defense systems. And the offense is ongoing. As a matter of fact, there were reports coming in of more major ballistic missile strikes elsewhere in Ukraine. So they get the UN to give Ukraine all this high-tech weaponry. Ukraine uses it against Russia, makes Russia mad. Russia responds, and Joe Biden says, we need more money. See how that works? A laundering operation, money laundering operation. So I'm trying to see what is going on. We're talking about a Black Swan event. Venezuela has mobilized their troops. Here we go. Now, we're talking about tensions with Russia. And they said in the past, Russia said that they would hit decision-making centers even if they are outside of Ukraine. In other words, they were telling UK and the French and us, wherever the decision made for them to do these offensive actions, Putin will hit the decision-making centers. Well, we know that there's been a Russian warship off the coast, or docked, actually physically docked. I did a short video that showed the warship there in a Venezuelan port. So they've got military assets in Venezuela. China has ships in Cuba. We know that. It's our hemisphere, okay? Last night I discussed about what was going on in the Arctic shelf, all right, right off of Alaska and in the Bering Sea and the North Sea. Well, now we have Venezuelan President Maduro said that he instructed the armed forces to begin actions of a defensive nature in response to the deployment of a British warship. Now we got a British warship off the coast of Guyana. Now, wait a minute. This is our hemisphere, okay? I talked about how John Kerry said the Monroe Doctrine was dead. And Trump had a couple of addresses he made with a picture of Teddy Roosevelt in the background looking at a globe of our hemisphere. And Teddy Roosevelt enforced the Monroe Doctrine. He walked softly and carried a big stick. He went all up and down the South American coast with some big warships and made some diplomatic visits that basically let everybody know we're not putting up with communism in this hemisphere. So now here we have this situation going on. The president said, I've ordered the activation of joint defensive action by all armed to the peace and sovereignty of our country from the UK. Earlier, the Financial Times reported, citing a representative of the British Ministry of Defense, that the United Kingdom would deploy a patrol ship off the coast of Guyana as a sign of the state's support in the territorial dispute we talked about over Essequibo. So we don't know where this Black Swan event is. Something's going to happen, okay? Something, either domestically or very close to us in our hemisphere. Something's going to happen. And this is all preludes to it. And I had a video of Lindsey Graham talking about bombing the HE double hockey sticks out of Iran. And because Iran is taking credit for what happened October 7th in Israel, saying it was a response to our wipeout of Soleimani that Trump ordered. Well, let me see. There was a report that Iran, let me see if I can find it. Iran has, here we go. Whoops. Iran reported that an agreement has been reached to completely replace the dollar in bilateral transactions between the countries with the ruble and the real. All right? So that's Russia, and I'm not sure where the real is primary, but the process of de-dollarization continues. And it could be an economic upheaval of some sort. Believe me, when the oil embargo happened in the 70s, it was like snapping your finger. One weekend, everything was fine. The next weekend, you didn't know whether or not you're going to make it to work or be able to fill the oil tank for your furnace. It was that quick. It could be a domestic flare-up. See, Department breaking. The Justice Department threatens to sue Texas if it enforces a law making illegal border entry a state crime. Wait a minute. CBS News is reporting that? Isn't this something a normal person who's not involved in all the stuff we've been tracking for so many years would look at this and say, well, what's wrong with making illegal border entry a state crime? Well, there's nothing wrong with it. But the Department of Justice is acting like they're going to go after the governor. Hey, I showed how Rick Perry was arrested back in the 1990s. Was it Rick Perry, Governor Rick Perry of Texas? You know, they've been feeling their oats about using prosecutors and now state houses to disrupt our system of government. All right. And that was the first, that arrest of Rick Perry was the first salvo. Okay. Here we go. I'll put this one up, might as well. The Trumpist. Do you remember when we didn't have $5 billion to build a wall? Yet now we have $700 billion to give to other countries. In case you haven't figured it out, this is money laundering 101. Iranian currency, Freedom Rider, thank you. Yeah, I figured it was a Middle Eastern currency. I was wondering if Saudi Arabia uses a real. Probably not, because Iran is Shia, is it? And Saudi Arabia is Sunni, or the other way around. They don't like each other, whichever way it is. So, anyway, let's see. I want to make sure I get these. What else is percolating that's not being reported on? Well, the list of names of, quote, associates, okay? Associates of Epsteinio is coming out any day, right? Well, you know, within 10 days or so. And that's what everybody's talking about. Well, The Hill did a video on this J.P. Morgan situation in the Virgin Islands, okay? And that is percolating. Let me just go ahead and play this video, because when you listen to this, you'll hear celebrities' names being brought up, also high-powered bankers, and politicos embedded in the government of the U.S. Virgin Islands. The Saudis use the real. All right. Real is just Iran's currency, and I don't know. A different currency, Rial, and, well, they're all joining in BRICS. So I'm looking like, and BRICS is going, I think, going to go precious metal backed currency, and they may have something, the Middle Eastern version of the euro. We'll see. Anyway, here is what is happening now, but not being talked about in the Virgin Islands. And this is, we're talking wealthy bankers, we're talking celebrities, and we're talking politicians. Anyway, I'll go ahead and play it, and I might interrupt a little bit here and there, but this is something to keep an eye on.
For bankers in America at the very high level, the email of one from a Mary Erdoes at jpmorgan.com official email to an unknown person saying, obviously they're at a party. This is, really late at night. The first email is about 8:30. This has turned into a cheesy broker fest. Totally not cool. The only cool people here are at Glenn's table, same as bat mitzvah. So maybe they've known each other for some time. The response is at 1:20 a.m. Epstein there with Miley Cyrus. And so this is like official JP Morgan emails where this exchange is happening.
And remember, folks, at the time that that email was sent, Miley Cyrus was 15 years old, working for Disney and doing kiddie shows, and you all know what she turned into. But she was with Epstein, and the implication is kind of like they were a couple, if you get my drift. And anyway, I'll let it continue here.
Was Epstein actually there with Miley Cyrus? We don't know. But the fact that they made the joke shows that these bankers on their JP Morgan emails are comfortable joking about the billionaire being out with young girls.
They were comfortable joking about a lot of really sketchy stuff. We've read these emails in the past talking about who's your favorite Disney princess. It suggests again a deep familiarity with the kind of bad and illegal stuff that Jeffrey Epstein was interested in and had already been convicted for, would eventually be arrested for again, yet right bringing up, including given her, recent crusade, the higher media profile she has sought for herself as part of the pushback from Democrats on Twitter files and on RFK Jr. Stacey Plaskett, the delegate of the Virgin Islands, has been front and center at these hearings, accusing Matt Taibbi of perjury, accusing RFK Jr. of anti-Semitism. Stacey Plaskett, delegate of the Virgin Islands, trying to get Jeffrey Epstein at her fundraisers as recently as 2018, I believe, the year before he was arrested again and then died in allegedly because of suicide in prison. This was someone with full knowledge and awareness of his wrongdoing, was courting his influence, his access to funds and to important wealthy people.
Right. Plaskett, who originally said that she wasn't really aware that he was donating. She was completely unaware of his donations to her campaign. which, then she had to say
Which
in
is just a
deposition
lie.
last month.
It's just a lie.
Yeah, she was directly
Yeah,
introduced
you can see
to
the
him.
emails from her team saying, oh, he's going to be there, right? Let's make sure he gets a personal invite.
Not just for the political dealings, but was an attorney at the tax firm that worked with Jeffrey Epstein. So even before she ran for public office,
she knew Jeffrey Epstein.
So this is going to go on, but I'm just going to interject. You're seeing now Stacey Platt she came in there mouthing off against Trump and putting herself right in the spotlight. They're desperate because it's all going to come crumbling down. A lot of stuff is going to get exposed when Trump wins, and they know it. How far will they go to stop it? But these emails are in the thousands. You see the note at the bottom that there were emails to Bill Gates. We've already talked about Miley Cyrus, but you've got stars, you've got all kinds of international financiers and politicians involved in this. And it's a can of worms.
but then there's obvious documents where she's asking that most likely directly had been speaking with Jeffrey Epstein.
And Jeffrey Epstein, had his own agenda for the Virgin Islands. He wanted the sex offender policies of the Virgin Islands changed. Wonder why that could be. He was paying for some government officials, I think, schooling for their kids. This is, and this is something I've, again, mentioned when we talk about this lawsuit, but because the lawsuit is from Virgin Islands to JP Morgan, but it seems pretty clear that a lot of the government officials of the Virgin Islands were very much complicit in the exact kind of nefarious, we'll find out if it's illegal, who knows, but very icky behavior that they're going after JP Morgan for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, that they are complicit as
Yeah. He's dancing around and he's saying they're involved in icky stuff. Icky stuff. What are you talking about? We know what he's talking about. He can't say that's the Hill. I didn't mean to take their little emblem off down there. But what we know what he's talking about. Icky stuff. Okay. And when you got people sitting there at a party, a late night party with grown people probably doing God knows what. Liquor would be the least of it. Got a 15-year-old? Okay. Do you think that's the only one? Okay. So anyway, that is percolating, folks. We're going to see how that turns out. Freedom Rider, I talked about that. I don't think you may not have been on the broadcast. I said I went over the whole Trump history, the whole shootout with that. And if you heard me say that and you're still making those insinuations, if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. But Trump is, as far as Epstein and the stuff he's been doing, he's got clean hands. He's never been down to that island ever. And I played a video last night that showed where Trump was pretty much telling the media where they could win a Pulitzer Prize. Let me see if I can find it. Where Trump told them they could win a Pulitzer Prize. Well, he didn't say that exact words, but anybody that's a reporter that wants to get on the map and actually report something, Trump opened the door for them and none of them walked through.
Do you really think that Clintons are involved with Jeffrey Epstein's death? I have no idea. I know he was on his plane 27 times, and he said he was on the plane 4 times. But when they checked the plane log, Bill Clinton, who was a very good friend of Epstein, he was on the plane about 27 or 28 times. So did Bill Clinton go to the island? Because Epstein had an island that was not a good place, as I understand it, and I was never there. So you have to ask, did Bill Clinton go to the island? That's the question. If you find that out, you're going to know a lot. Thank you very much.
Right there. And none of them checked it out. None of them. They all went dark on that story. So I brought it up. I went over it. Epstein would have never been rearrested. Ghislaine Maxwell would have never been arrested, been sentenced to 20 years. The general public would have never heard of Epstein Island. None of that stuff wouldn't have come out if it wasn't for Trump. So they used pictures from 25, 20, 30 years ago, maybe less than a handful, 3 pictures where Epstein sidles up to Trump and gets a selfie with him. And all right away, that makes Trump the baddie. But Trump's the one who's been locking them up and exposing them. Here you go. What do people want? I mean, why go after Trump with such a zeal? Why? When he's the only one opposing what you see on the screen. And wokeness has. They just opened up an all-trimester clinic in Maryland that aborts 8-month-old babies. Okay? That's red rum. Okay? That's red rum. And these people need to be prosecuted. And we sure in the hell don't need any kind of tax dollars going towards ending young lives like this. Remember, Peru passed an amendment to their constitution, the rights of the conceived. The rights of the conceived. And I believe that's a blueprint for our nation. So Virginia had the Loudoun County business with somebody being, well, I can't, again, on a platform, I got to watch what I'm doing, but Jonathan Turley, where's that? Jonathan Turley got swatted, and you were right, Nikki. Marjorie Taylor Greene did get swatted too, along with a bunch of other conservatives and one Democrat. Got swatted, but Jonathan Turley got swatted. I believe it was Virginia, because somebody asked, what is Youngkin going to do about it? Let me see if I can find it. As far as I'm concerned, there's laws already in place for that. And, that's, a false police report. It's putting people in danger. You could even say it's attempted red rum. So anyway, Jonathan Turley's house got swatted. I can't find a particular article right this second. But if I get it, I'll come across it. But anyway, this is what they thrive on. Here's a guy that could be a billionaire, is a billionaire, could not be being aggravated in his mid-70s, going on to late 70s, exposing all this stuff. But I don't know. I got this off of, I think it was Citizens Free Press. Maybe it might have been that or Clandestine. But they make these AI pictures, and they all... Freedom Rider, you're wrong. You're wrong. You had, I believe it was an FBI agent who gave an interview back when they charged Epstein that Trump kicked him out of the golf course and assisted with the investigation to have him arrested. Trump was not president. He was not a candidate. He had nothing to do with this politics stuff. And then Epstein got that sweetheart deal, which turned out to be illegal, which was not reversed until 2019 or 18, when Trump was president, and Trump fired or made the person who authorized the illegal plea deal for Jeffrey Epstein, made him resign, and had Epstein rearrested under Trump's watch. Then Trump fired the attorney from the Southern District of New York who was stalling on arresting Ghislaine Maxwell. He fired that guy, put a new person in the Southern District of New York, and within 2 weeks, Ghislaine Maxwell was in jail, and she's serving 20 years. Thanks to Donald Trump. And Freedom, you hang on to every little, he's in his late 70s. His hands are small. Trump did not expose Epstein's crimes. I mean, you've got me worrying about you being to a certain point of this. Well, wait a second. Right here. This right here. I mean, who do you want? Who do you want? You want Biden, who's taken millions and millions and millions of dollars that are known to have been taken from other countries, and who China gives millions of dollars to, who takes showers with his daughter, okay, who's been in government since the 1970s, okay? The picture perfect poster child of government corruption and evil acts. Trump comes in out of nowhere, never been in politics, starts to clean it up, and you argue with me about factual matters. It is a matter of fact that Trump fired the Southern District of New York prosecutor because he refused to arrest Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell was promptly arrested, went to trial, is serving 20 years right now. We would not be seeing the names that you're drooling over, hoping Trump's name is in there, if it wasn't for Trump. There would be no client list that we know about. She'd still be free. So why do you have this infernal desire to persecute somebody who is finally trying to have the law enforced in this country and do something about millions of people coming to this country illegally? What and destroying our culture and our currency, print more and more money to fund these people. Where do you get off on that? Here, right here. American births versus illegal immigrants. Trump, way down there. The red line's illegal immigrants. The black line is the division between Trump and Biden. Look when Biden got in office. Look, the American birth rates, the blue line is relatively stable. Look at the shoot up of illegal immigrants, and birthright citizenship is a canard. Just because they're born here, if they're born of parents who are here unlawfully, we do not have jurisdictional interest over that child, and they're not entitled to citizenship. That is going to be reversed. And Trump's the only one talking about it. You can want to piss your country away, but we're not going to let you, okay? We're not going to let you do it. NBC News report, Jeffrey Epstein introduced me to Trump at 14. Ghislaine What? So? That's another 14-year-old Epstein was hanging out with. You just heard about him hanging out with Miley Cyrus when she was 15. I just showed you the video on that. That's right. We'll find out. And it'll knock your socks off. And I tell you what, the people that are constantly attacking Trump with these communist tactics of false accusations, libel, hey, the ones in official positions, I hope they pay a big price for what they're doing. And they will. Yeah, misspelled names and Jets. And NBC is fake news. I wouldn't believe a damn thing they say. I mean, look what they had. MSNBC and NBC. Look at the bullshit stuff they put out about Trump. That false, hoax. And a lot of them, I'm telling you, a lot of those producers are going to end up in jail for knowingly spreading disinformation and dividing this country. Yeah, names will be coming out. But I mean, grabbing at every little dirty straw just to try to smear something on Trump is sickening. I mean, it really is childish and sickening. Here you got, this is big. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger refuses to testify under oath about the security of dumb onion contraptions. Okay? Hey, they're looking at big trouble if they don't have some good excuses for what's going to come out. The Haldeman report came out, and there was prima facie evidence of tens of thousands of illegal votes that any reasonable person should have spotted. That's going to go down in the history books. This is going to go down in the history books right here. Lisa Page is going to be trying to save her own skin. Right here they are, the messages. Peter Strzok. Lisa Page, Trump's not going to become president, right? Right? Peter Strzok, no, he's not. We'll stop it. Yeah. FBI chump is going to interfere with an election, interfere with the presidency, and not pay a price. Even the Ruskies. This is going to be in our history books because it's accurate. Higher education. Russian textbooks say Trump lost 2020 in rigged election. Right there, if you can read, since, you know, everybody's so worldly and international, go ahead and read it. Right there it says. And all little school children are reading about it over there. They'll be smarter than the American kids who don't even know what state they live in. Russian history book for the 11th grade. Don't even know what gender they are. Russian history book for 11th graders say Trump lost the 2020 elections, quote, as a result of obvious electoral fraud by the Democratic Party, unquote. It's going to be in our history books. And this is what they're all worried about. Those ones in the Virgin Islands, all these politicians. Danny Masterson admitted to North Kern State Prison. That 70s show actor, he'll never see the light of day again. What's going on with name spelling? Yeah, if you do put anything in there, you know, that's going to get that rhythm going, just misspell it or use a letter for a vowel. By the way, folks, I've got a link. No, I don't have a link. They disabled my links because nobody wants people talking the truth. December 1st, 2021 is a new report. That sounds like it's 3 years old. 3 years old is some crappy accusation. I was 14 and Jeffrey Epstein introduced me to Trump. When was that? 1980? So, but they reported on it in 2021. Okay. But anyway, that's what they're all facing. And the sooner people realize the mainstream media is full of subversive communists and criminals, the better off they'll be. Here, I'd rather pay attention to the Babylon Bee. They're more accurate than anybody else, and at least they're funny. Canada requires all men's rooms to have tampons in case of Justin Trudeau visit. I'll tell you, here's a nice story. Thank you, Nikki, for putting my link in for Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate it. Here's a nice story I got off of you, Tizzle. Wait a second. What do I got going on here? Here we go. This couple right here. This girl does Black Tea News on Utizzle. And she put this story up about her dad. Said, my parents are celebrating 43 years today. When we first got married, we used to argue. My wife is smarter now. My father used to love telling the story when he traveled to different churches, just to watch the women's initial reactions when he'd say, my wife is smarter now. When we first got married, I said, the first rule of marriage is me, Tarzan, you, Jane. And she said, no, no, no. But after a while, she said, it doesn't matter because Tarzan did whatever Jane wanted. So he'd end his story with a final line, which always earned a round of applause. Ladies, treat him like Tarzan and he'll treat you like Jane. I thought that was a cute story. So anyway. Quick to accept fake news from the far right. Freedom songwriter, listen, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you one more time. If Trump had not gotten in office, Epstein plea deal would have never been questioned. Okay. He'd never gone back in jail. Ghislaine Maxwell would have never been arrested. And we would have never heard anything about a client list. Okay? If you really want to know what would happen if Trump had not gotten in, you just imagine what kind of country we would have had with Hillary in here, because what came around at the end of 2019 or beginning of 2019, where everybody had to get that thing in their shoulder, poke, poke, poke. They'd have been locking down every state. There wouldn't be a Second Amendment right. There'd have been a hell on earth in this country if it wasn't for Donald Trump. Just remember that. All right, Lone Wolf stopped by Buymeacoffee. Broke down the YouTube burial. Over to Target, getting hot. Thank you, Lone Wolf. I appreciate it very much for helping sponsor the program with Buy Me a Coffee. So anyway, that everything I just said, Freedom Rider, is fact of the matter about Epstein having his plea deal revoked and Ghislaine Maxwell being arrested and charged. Would have never happened if it wasn't for Trump. So you can't get that through your skull, even though it is a fact of history. It is a fact of life. I mean, come on, man. You're causing yourself a lot of tumult and looking, not very reasonable. So let's see. That, I think, is all my videos. But let's see here's four kinds of people, four groups of people right now. Which category are you in? Everybody. I'm asking everybody. I'm not picking on nobody. Four groups of people right now. Number one, those who believe the narrative and comply. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse anybody of believing the narrative and complying. Okay. But I will say I am not a number one. All right. Number two, those who know it's BS and comply anyway. I do know some people like that. Lone Wolf got some boom, boom, boom. All right. Number three, those who are waking up to the lie and are starting to refuse to comply. Though I'm a number 4. Those who knew it was BS right from the start and refused to partake in the lie. I'm a number 4 to the bone. So everybody can figure out where they are. And nobody has the answer if they don't want to. But if you want to, put the number you are. I'm curious about some people. Because, I don't know if I put it in the studio, but it's got I think I'll talk about it in my next program. People who have left this earth very recently compared to just 3 years ago has skyrocketed. So I might as well put Elon Musk up. A member of Congress told me, now he's talking about the immigration crisis. A member of Congress told me that this is a deliberate means of importing future left-wing voters. Viewed through that lens, this administration's facilitation of massive illegal immigration precisely matches their goal. Okay. We're going to see it getting put a stop to. Let's see. Freedom Writer, I can show you the press conference where it's just Trump and the guy that wrongfully allowed that plea agreement where Trump said, hey, you've been a good attorney, but you were tricked and you still got to go. I mean, why would he fire his own labor secretary? You're saying the Justice Department got it right with Epstein. The Justice Department was covering up for him. Hunter's on video, butt naked, doing cocaine with underage kids. My God. Yeah, use a 3 for the E when you put his name there, Hunter. That's all protected, Freedom. That's all protected. Sets off the rhythm to cause trouble for my channel. Chris is 4. Diane's a 4. Dixie's a 4. I don't know. Freedom, you can answer what level you're at if you want to. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. That's for sure. Here you go. Just keep this in mind. This is where they're all going crazy. Biden's pitiful polling. Reports Biden and allies frustrated by bad polls. Ha ha ha. And he's going up. Ha ha. That's right, Donna. Everybody knows it was a rip-off job. Those people belong in jail. And they're going to end up in jail. Here, they won't even give. His father was killed. His father and his uncle were killed. Biden administration denies Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Secret Service protection for the 3rd time. What kind of world do you want to live in? Oh, it's just a matter of time, Gary B. Or Clay B. It's just a matter of time. Here we go. Here's somebody who didn't buy the, somebody who I guess was a number 1. just went along. Stand-up comedian Neil Nanda dies suddenly, 32. Oh, it was something else. He died of something else. Oh, okay. All right. But we got a huge number of people who died of something else. Suddenly, a huge number. Here you go. This is the world everybody wants to live in right here. Dean Cain, I think neither of you are girls. Clown world. And there they are. Now, the one on the left is Dylan Mulvaney. The one on the right is I think it's a Twitch influencer that talks directly to kids. I think the one on the right is going to jail when this is all said and done. But anyway, this woman said, "You were never Superman either." And Dean Cain said, "Correct. I pretended." Boy, that burns them up. What is wrong with these people? What in the hell is wrong with these people? Where's that other one I had? I had something else put up there. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, folks. Just remember this, folks. They know he's going to win. As 2024 approaches, it's time to buckle up. We're down to 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, 8 months. All right. What are they going to do? Because Trump keeps going up in the polls. Every new poll he puts out, he's going up, 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 and it's scaring the hell out of them because people like Ratzenberger of what they did. Okay, they had it right there in front of them. Evidence of illegal voting, dead people voting, way over what Trump needed to win. 70-some thousand, just blatantly outright false that they allowed to go through. They're going to end up in jail. People that did what this person did, they're all going to end up in jail. All those bankers, all those movie stars, all those politicians, okay, that we talked about. And Epstein is just a tip of the problem, the tip of it. Okay? That's right, Clay. I think you're right. A lot of more of them are going to cork off. They're going to cork off. So anyway, let me see what I got. Here's one I've had for a while, but I didn't want to get people. Here we go. I'll put Reagan up in a minute, but Stephen Miller put this up. If we use people like Freedom's rules, all right, and I don't mean to pick on you, Freedom, but I'm just saying, if we use your method of how to treat people, Biden can be removed from the ballot for orchestrating the border invasion. Biden officials can be criminally prosecuted in states and federal court for their border crimes. Biden and his co-conspirators can be held civilly liable for the open border. And that's true. How can we help the American people? I think keeping teachers from psychologically assaulting children with identity crisis that doesn't exist. I think that calling out this global warming hoax, okay, oil is organic. Oil is organic. Okay, it's not a fossil fuel from dinosaurs 1 million years ago. We're going to run out of oil. They found oil, a major oil reserve rivaling Saudi Arabia in the Siberian Peninsula. They carbon dated the oil, and it's only 50 years old. The earth is constantly producing oil. It's the second largest liquid on the face of the earth next to water. Okay? Life is carbon based. Carbon is a nutrient. When you went to school in the 8th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, you were taught photosynthesis, plants breathe carbon dioxide and emit oxygen. Okay, real simple. Trump's insurrection. Yeah, be peaceful. Be peaceful. Oh, it's an insurrection. I mean, how many times do I have to put it up? How many times do I have to put up all the tweets? I'll tell you what. We can help the American people. Here we go. Our homeschoolers only do 2 hours a day of schoolwork. The rest of the time is caring for animals, gardening, art, play, etc. They're testing well above grade. Makes you wonder what they're doing in public schools all day. I'd rather have my kids doing just what you see on the screen than going there and being influenced. What did you say? Like cultural issues? Cultural issues. You call having your kids having to deal with things like this, breathing in their faces, asking them about what they, what's going on in their drawers when they're 6 years old. That's how we help this country. Is we start enforcing the law, which is you do not discuss those sort of things with children, or you go to jail. Okay, that's one way. Here we go. Fraud, right here. Leah Thomas is newly engaged. He may have been willing to give up his P3-ness to win a couple of swim meets, but he wasn't willing to give up women, I see. I don't blame him. All that is a male athlete that couldn't make it, competing against males, defrauding everybody, claiming they're a female, and coming in first and damaging actual females. Climate change. Climate change is a joke. It's a ruse. It's a farce. Here, these people right here need to be put in jail. Christian Prince, The Wicked Land. People behind this need to be put in jail. California defines stores that don't have gender-neutral kids' toys in toy section. Yeah. Find out who's behind it and go ahead and lock them up. What's this one here? California is in the death spiral. Socialism brings a dystopian future to the once golden state. CBS News from Election Wizard. Pizza Hut is set to lay off more than 1,200 delivery drivers in 3 California counties in the coming year ahead of a new state law that boosts the fast food minimum wage. How my? You want fight for 15? Yeah, well, fight for a job because you're out of here. They've been telling us we got 10 years for the last 60 years. Only 10 years to survive. It's all BS. There ain't any climate change. Everybody wants clean air, clean water, and all that stuff. Sure. You don't want people abusing things. But, having a bunch of pseudoscientists trying to force the world into electric cars that they can shut off from afar, they can shut off from the internet. You can't go far. You can't do squat. Here you go. I'm not letting some egghead bureaucrat that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about run my life. This is about preserving our way of life and protecting the generations that follow. We're living in biblical times. That's right, Nikki. It's time for them to wake up or be left behind. Believing in global warming is ridiculous. Climate change now is what they call it. It's all bullshit. What the sun does has more to do with what happens to our weather than we could ever. We're in like a nit on a mule's backside. This earth will do what it wants. Let me see if I didn't leave anything out. Yeah, climate change is a fraud and a hoax, and they're making millions and millions off of it. Al Gore acted like a boogeyman. You look at how many people lost their lives over in Ukraine. Now they're coming out with this. Ukraine doesn't need all its territory to defeat Putin. The New York Times. Putin is not trustworthy, but if he turns out to be serious, Ukraine should not pass up an opportunity to end the bloodshed. Oh, they're going to increase the bloodshed. And let me tell you, it is a horror. All those young and old, and the misrepresentation saying Russia is going to collapse at any minute. Putin's dying of cancer. We're going to take over Moscow. Just a big damn joke, and a covering up where they had those LAs there. What did that have to do with what we've been through? And Hunter and all these other politicians' sons having an interest, financial benefit from these BIOLABS. What did that have to do? How many billions did Big Pharma make? And I can say something we can all, I'll let people come to their own conclusions without putting anything bad in the chats. If it were proven that people purposefully manipulated something you catch, a cold, if they purposely manipulated it and worked on it for years and years to make it more harmful and then let it loose on purpose, what should happen to those people? There's no impacts of climate change. I got to get my pictures out of the Statue of Liberty from 100 years ago at low tide and the Statue of Liberty today at low tide. There's nothing going on. It's a cult. It's a where's my I got another one where they got an Aztec guy holding somebody's heart up to the sun. Climate change. We got to stop. We got to sacrifice more lives to please the sun gods. Here's what they'll have you eating right here. Keep your eye open for this, folks. You might want to get a screenshot of this. Let me make it real big so I can read it, and then I'll put it down. The importance of reading your labels and knowing what they mean. See all these nice little buggy wuggies here? Warning, all foods that have these two symbols in their ingredients, E120 and E904, contain insects. E120 is beetles, E904 is lice. So they grind them up and make a powder out of it. And it's a filler. It's a filler that adds to the bulk of the food. the entire scientific community. Well, let me see. I think I have an authoritative thing about that. Oh my. Well, that's one thing about science. They're on the government, these quote scientists are on the government payroll. They said all the doctors where they were taking their licenses away, barring them from practicing, and they turned out to be right about the latest thing we've been through. You know what I'm saying? The latest thing we've been through. And here we go. Yeah, man, I got lucky. I came across a couple of things I wanted to put up. And you'll enjoy this, Freedom Rider. Let me make sure I get these. Add them in, okay? And then I'm gonna put them on the screen, okay? Right here. The majority of scientists agree with those that fund them. Okay? So you got the Al Gores, you got people that want to sell solar panels, people that want to get government grants to build windmills, have the government pay for billions of dollars for things. They're going to come up with this crap, any kind of crap you want them to come up with. But since we're on this subject of, you were talking about Mr. T calling him an insurrection, you're repeating falsehoods. I don't believe you would knowingly repeat a falsehood. But the bottom line is, I showed the video that Twitter took down and the news services would not show, where Trump himself on January 3rd was telling everyone to go home and be peaceful and to stop and to be law and order. They took that down. They broke the law. And I believe that's when Trump formally instituted the actual Insurrection Act. I think the military is in control of this country right now. I think the Insurrection Act was invoked by Trump verbally with his proclamation that got taken down by Twitter. He further went on to put this on Twitter. This is President Trump's deleted tweet. Keep it alive until our republic is restored. There it is. You can read it for yourself. They unlawfully removed his tweet. Okay, these are the things that happen when landslide victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and fairly treated for so long. Go home in love and peace. Remember this day forever. But prior to that, he put up these two tweets right here. It's all right there. The internet's forever. This January 6th, remember, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. 1:38 p.m. I'm asking for everyone in the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. 2:13 p.m. Presidential communications. Twitter shut down the account of a sitting U.S. president at the direction of the FBI, DHS, and DNI because his message didn't fit the narrative they wanted to sell. So the producer for ABC that helped set up the January 6th commission, all of them, they're going to jail. I mean, here you have, right here, who are these people? All three of them together. Remember their names. Remember their names. Who do y'all see, folks? Super crazy talk. I'm showing you actual tweets, okay, that cannot be taken down from the internet because the internet is forever. And these are the people that are going to be putting the people in jail that was interfering with the president trying to execute his duties. Okay? Who are the people you see on the screen, guys? The good guys, single songwriters. That's right. I enjoy the back and forth. So anyway, I'm seeing if everybody knows who is up there. Faith by Nature, how you doing? Astro, how you doing? Oh, I know the brainwashing's in plain sight. I mean, there's a lot of them, their brains are bleached white. They've been washed so much. They got foam coming out of their ears. You know, at least a rabid raccoon's got it coming out of their mouth or something. These guys are walking around with it out of their ears. Who is the one in the middle drawing a blank? Ha ha. Well, I'll answer in a little bit. Miss Bender Sue. Nice to see you, crazy Cajun lady, Miss Bender Sue. Jerry Lee. Richard G. Where's Thomas? Oh, Thomas been gone. I was calling for him to come back. He got along with Freedom Rider. I don't mind a little back and forth at all. No, he's not a troll. Grinnell and Scavino, right? Miss Mendersue, you see Grinnell and Scavino. So the chats have got two of the three. I will say this much. I'll give a hint. He was approved by the Senate, unlike Jack Smith, who's never been approved by the Senate. He has no business prosecuting Trump. And that's just a matter of fact. And he's good. Who knows what's going to happen to him? That's not even his real name. We know that's not even his real name. Let's see if anybody gets that. The first name is Matt. Single got it. Getting there. See if anybody gets it. Freedom might know. Who's the guy in the middle? And don't say Mr. Clean either. I'll see if anybody gets it. I'm waiting. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, boom. It's Matthew Whitaker. Matthew Whitaker. I got a MW right when I said that. I got a Matt W. Jack Smith's real name being put out. I don't know. Trump kind of gets a little smile on his face when he mentions that. Yeah, we're not gonna bar you. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Freedom Rider. Nobody said they were gonna ban you. You're gonna make yourself a victim now. Oh my gosh, I'm a victim. I'm gonna get banned. Nobody's gonna ban you. You ain't using foul language or nothing. You're just putting your side of the. It's like Ronald Reagan used to say, the left knows so many things. It's just a shame that so much that they know happens to be incorrect. Yes, Matthew Whitaker, Rick Grinnell, and Dan Scavino. You're going to be remember those names, Freedom. Remember those names. Whitaker, he could be the who loves you, baby? Yeah, it's Go Jack. Kojak. But anyway, they're all together now. But you need to get a screenshot of this. Here, wait a minute. Well, yeah, the bugs. Get a screenshot of the bugs, but you need to get a shot of this right here. Blow it up to poster size, print it out, and put it on your wall. It doesn't take an Einstein. And you know, this did not happen by itself. When I'm talking about people going to jail, it is because what happened during November of 2020 was the true insurrection, okay? 11.3. And it didn't happen by itself. It happened because of criminal actions. $155 million registered voters back in 2020. No, wait a minute, I got it wrong. 133 million registered voters, U.S. voters, back in 2020. How the hell did they come up with 155 million? Because of criminal activity. And if it gets tied into knowingly trying to overthrow the government, there's going to be very harsh penalties. Not people losing vacation days or, getting suspended with pay for 2 weeks. No. And Trump made it very clear, and they're turning it into that he's going to do something violent or horrible. This federal government is so full of dead weight and communists that Schedule F is going to be implemented. Schedule F. And there's going to be thousands of people they've been getting big paychecks, getting the best benefits, and all they do is go around and run their mouths and try to tear down the government. They're all going to get thrown out. That's right. We know who SOS is, Jerry. So anyway, until you can refute that, until you can refute what you see on the screen, it can't be refuted. Every county, every state has registration totals that are available to the public. And the fact of the matter is, there were millions and millions and millions more than if 100% of every person registered went out. There's more, this is like 115%. Impossible. Only through criminal actions. Only through criminal actions. Let me see what kind of closeout video I can put up. Something to make people laugh. I gotta go out to my studio and see what I got. Y'all do yourselves a favor and write down those numbers. And when you go grocery shopping and you buy you a piece of food, make sure you read the label. And as mad as you are at me, Freedom, don't get mad at me. As mad as you are, you ought to be thanking me because I'm helping you not eat bugs, right? There's a lot to be said for that. Anyway, let me see what I can put up. Oh my gosh, I got one that's, that'd be a little rough. Well, I don't know. People are dropping off. I got to keep people entertained every minute. I know. I'm trying my best. Well, let's see. I'm going down memory lane. Here we go. I don't know what he's talking about here, but I think it's something that'll mean something in the future. Oh, this might be a little hard to hear, but remember this in the future. All right, folks. Hi, Val. How you doing? Hi, Bill. Hi, Dixie. Babylon Bee. Yeah, it's funny. Peanut butter has bugs. My peanut butter better not have bugs in it. I'm running low on peanut butter. I have peanut butter and chocolate keeps me going. My gosh, I can't go without it. Anyway, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, I don't know what this one is. Oh, it might be not one I could play on this platform. Let me rethink this. That might be one I made for Bumble. I don't know. I'm going to live dangerous. I don't remember what this video is. I'm going to put it back up. Anyway, folks, I appreciate y'all spending your precious time with me. Nikki, I know I kept you up late. I'm sorry. I just started. Just switch out letters on cuss words. Use numbers for letters and stuff. All right, folks, appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. Let's see what this video is. Is it going to get me in trouble or not? I don't know. I'll cover it up with Moses breaking the 10 Commandments at the end. So, all right, Clay, I'll remember you got peanut butter. I'll be banging on your door if I need some. All right, folks, I'll be broadcasting probably tomorrow. All right. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Thank you, everybody in the chats. Even if we disagree and go back and forth, it's still fun. And keep your chin up because things are going to be looking up. And we'll see what this video says. And I'll be broadcasting soon. Until then, this is Mountainman. Thank you, Lone Wolf, for supporting tonight's broadcast. This is Mountainman, over and out.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Fabricated evidence, and they lied to the courts, and they did all sorts of things to have it go their way. And this was something that we can never allow to happen again. The report actually, and especially when you look into it and the details of the report, are far worse than anything I would have even imagined. What they were doing and what they would have done if I didn't make a certain move that was a very important move, because it would have been even worse if that's possible. And they might have been able to succeed. This was an overthrow of government. This was an attempted overthrow, and a lot of people were in on it, and they got caught. They got caught red-handed. And I look forward to the Durham report, which is coming out in the not-too-distant future. He's got his own information, which is this information. And it's an incredible thing that happened, and we're lucky we caught him. I think I'm going to put this down for one of our great achievements, because what we found and what we saw, never ever should this happen in our country.
You want to play this? Okay. Have to play with it. Come on. Okay. You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little